Hi guys, this is JP from FSiPanel. Welcome to this new video. I will show you now to use the new modes of FSiPanel 2017. It was a mode already on the first version of FSiPanel, and I just put this mode now in the new version 2017. So we are talking about the basic mode aircraft, so it will allow you to import any aircraft you want. The success of this positioning is never guaranteed, but we can test it once we import the aircraft. So let's have a look how it works. First of all, we need to get airborne and climb to, let's say, 3,000 feet. It's a good altitude. The mode works when you have altitude hold, heading hold, and autopilot engage. So here I will give it a try now with the Quality Wing 787, and we will see if it works. So I will just go airborne. And once airborne, we will try to maintain 3,000 feet, and we will import this aircraft into FSiPanel. So let's give it a try. Here I have just prepared the cockpit, just normal SIDs, and we are in Gatwick. So we'll just do the takeoff, climb to 3,000, select heading and altitude hold, and see how it works. So let's go for takeoff. Everything is stable. Let's go. So this new mode will allow you to position your aircraft exactly like a normal aircraft supported by FSiPanel. The only difference is that the scenario will not be loaded, but the aircraft will be slewed into position, and FSiPanel will try to set all your autopilot modes. So we'll see if it works, and I'm trying now with the Quality Wings. Rotate. All right.
Positive rate. Gear up.
Gear up. All right, past 400 feet, I will go heading select. We have heading cell. We're gonna put autopilot.
Autopilot on.
And I will clean up the aircraft. I think 230 knots should be fine. We'll see soon. Yeah, up speed is there. So let's put 230 knots.
Flaps 1.
Flaps 1. And now we are capturing the altitude. Speed 230.
Flaps up.
Flag flaps up. Okay, so the idea is to bring the aircraft to 3,000 feet, which is a good altitude after departure here. And it's important to have an heading hold. So we have heading, and to have altitude hold. And the aircraft should be stable at 3,000 feet. From now on, you can set up anything you like. So what I do here, I have done already a test with this aircraft, and what I will do, I will set here the approach speed already. Okay, now I have the approach speed, and something important if FSiPanel has to set the nav setting for you. I found out that as long as you have the ILS park, FSiPanel will not be able to set the ILS. So here I will just set anything, any ILS, you know. This is just to get out of the park mode. So just put something like that. And now we are okay. Okay, so we have altitude hold, heading altitude hold. What I will do now, I will try to save the flight. So let's save this, and I will save it as a 787 test. Okay, and now we are ready to import this aircraft into FSiPanel. So let's see how that works. I will bring FSiPanel. Now, if you go to select aircraft, you see the new button is here, add basic aircraft. So I will do that. Automatically, FSiPanel will try to recognize which aircraft you have. So now is FSiPanel recognize this aircraft as a 787-900, 2 engines, which is correct. And now you can see that this is the mode read by FSiPanel. So we can see that according to him, autopilot master, auto throttle master is not on, as well as the speed is not on. Heading is on, altitude is off. However, we can see that the heading set on the MCP match the actual heading, and same for the altitude. So we are pretty quite sure that autopilot reading is correct, and this is our actual nav setting. So now we're gonna try to see if FSiPanel can manage the positioning of this aircraft. So the first thing to do is to press set heading. What's gonna happen when you press set heading? FSiPanel will try to set the heading 180 on the aircraft and as well in your mode control panel, the heading bug. So let's see if that works. So I press set heading. Right away we can see becomes green and the box is tick here. So let's have a look at P3D, and we can see now that our heading is in fact 180. This is exactly what we want. So it means FSiPanel is able to control the mode control panel here and as well the heading of the aircraft. So that's fine. Autopilot didn't disengage, we are good. So this one is green, so this is why FSiPanel has ticked that box. So that means on every approach FSiPanel will try to set your heading bug. Altitude, same thing. Now we are 3000 feet. If I press set altitude, FSiPanel will try to put your aircraft at 5000 feet and set your altitude windows to 5000 feet. So let's give it a try. We can see 5000 green, and MCP alt is engaged. We have a look here. We can see 5000 feet and we can see 5000 feet. So right now everything looks fine. Next we go down here to the nav setting. We can see 11175. This is what we've set before. So now we'd like to set an ILS frequency just to see if FSiPanel is able to set your final nav setting for you. So I will press on set ILS and we can see that everything was changed. So the box again is tick here. So means now we can control the heading, altitude and the nav setting. Should you decide not to have the heading controlled by FSiPanel, just untick heading. If you want the altitude not to be set by FSiPanel, untick this. And of course if you want to do your own nav setting as well, you can untick this. Now we are fully ready to import the aircraft, so I will just click import aircraft. Aircraft imported. Good. So now we have here our 787-900. So let's give it a try and do an approach. So we were in Gatwick, so I can try to do an approach now, let's say in Heathrow. So Heathrow, okay. And we're gonna put runway 9 left. And let's say we wanna go 8 miles final. If I don't set any weather, FSiPanel will use the actual weather of your simulator, or if you're using active sky, will use active sky weather. So now these two aircraft, move aircraft and slew aircraft, have the same functions. Whatever, you can press any of these. So let's see what happens when I push move aircraft. We can see the aircraft is at 2500 feet. The speed didn't change. Heading is 090. And as you can see, we see here localizer centered and glide slope is about to come. So we ask for 8 miles final. We have a little offset for the glide slope. So everything looks good. And the message on top, as you can see, please check all your modes, heading, altitude, and when ready, hit your brake to take controls. So now basically everything is done for you. We have the runway in front. And as you can see now, we have 230 knots. And we are in a clean configuration, so it might be a little bit too fast to complete this approach. So now this is why we have this mode here, freezing position. So now it's easy to basically prepare your aircraft for the approach, configure your airplane. So what I will do, I'll use flaps 1. I will reduce my speed to bug 1. And in the meantime, you see that the autopilot is maintaining 2500 feet. And we are not moving, so it's perfect to stay at this present position and to be able to slow down. So for 8 miles, I will slow down to flaps 5, speed 180, and we will see how that works. So now I go to flaps 5. We can see flaps 5 moving here, and we gonna put a speed 180 knots, which is a nice speed for this position, 8 miles final. Once the speed is there, we'll be ready to take over and fly the approach. So just like a normal FSiPanel, you will also get a landing report. So now the speed is good, I'm ready. I'm gonna hold my brake for 2 seconds. And I have control, so the only thing I need, arm approach. And we see that we have localizer captured, glide slope captured, and we can fly our ILS approach. So this was how to fly a quick ILS approach. Now we can try something else. Let's see, let's imagine that we have landed the aircraft. So I have saved a scenario before, so I will try to load that scenario. That was the cruise flight, the test flight that we saved on ground, in cruise, sorry. So normally here we should have the aircraft at 3,000 feet maintaining altitude in heading and altitude hold. So this is if you want to fly another approach later on or tomorrow, you already have your aircraft ready. So I just load that flight and we will see if we can fly another approach, and this time we will put some weather. Alright, the aircraft is here. It will take around 30 seconds if I remember right for Quality Wing 787 to become ready. And a couple of things I found on this airplane. Emergency light will not be armed. Couple of little details quickly fixed. Let's see that together. So now the aircraft looks good. We have, let's see our mode. Heading, altitude hold, speed 230, and we see that we have an FMC message. Okay, we'll clear it up. Alright, area and manual mode, important. What else? TCAS off. Okay, no problem. We're gonna put the TCAS on. And emergency light. Alright, let's have a look at the emergency light. Just have to reset that. So off, armed, and close that, and we should be all fine. Let's see if I have my approach speed. Approach, yes we do. So we're all good to go. So let's try a 4 miles final approach. In this time, let's go for in the US. Okay, so let's go to Miami, for example. Let's see which runway we're gonna take. 8 right, and this time a 4 miles final. And now we will try the weather feature. So I'll go on a weather, and let's see what is the actual weather in Miami. We can see that there is a few clouds, 27 degrees. Okay, let's put that weather and see here, 10 nautical miles, light wind, 27 degrees, and we have an altimeter setting of 3007 and a few clouds. And 7:53 in the morning, perfect. So I will use set weather. So now FSiPanel will also take care of your weather. And I will push move aircraft, and let's see what happens. All right, the aircraft is moved now instantly to Miami, hopefully. Let's see, we have an heading of 090, altitude is 1200, and in front of us, just in a couple of seconds, we should have the scenery getting better, and we should then have Miami in front of us. Looks good. Let's see, our altimeter setting 3007 has been set, so everything looks good, and we have a localizer and we have a glide slope. Perfect. Nothing to be set here. We are ready to fly. So I will take control, holding my brake, and arm approach, and the aircraft is going for landing. We are a little bit fast, my mistake, no problem. So what I will do, let's see if we can do that. Normally the aircraft will not let you do that if you're already in the approach mode. Let's see if we can do that. I will go altitude hold and heading hold, heading cell. All right, we have heading cell and altitude hold. Okay, because what happened here was 4 miles, but my speed was way too fast. So this is something we don't want to do. So I will try again, and this will be a good example that we can reload and approach very quickly if we screw it up. The only thing we need to do is remember, have an heading mode and altitude hold. Once the aircraft is stable, we can do it. So let's see, 1200, we are stable. I will go back to FSiPanel. I will tell him 4 miles, move. And we should be back exactly at the position where we were before, exactly there. And this time, before I take control, I'm gonna slow down the aircraft. So 4 miles, we're about 1,000 feet here, so we should be almost on final approach speed. So let's go for it. Flaps 1. The good thing here is that the aircraft is not moving. So you can just stay in this position, configure your aircraft, configure your FMC if you want to, set your lightning, everything you want, and when ready you take over control. So here we will do the configuration. Flaps 5, speed 180, we bring the gear down. I will do my auto brake 2. Gonna hum the speed brake. And we will go for flaps 15. Approach speed was 143, so wind was light, so 148 will be my V approach. Let's go flaps 20, and from there I will be able to take over the control. Alright, so now speed is good, we are in front of the runway. I'm ready to fly this approach this time. So I take over control and let's see what happens. Take over control, let's see if we can arm the approach here. She took it, so we have localizer. And let's see, glide slope is there, glide slope is coming.
Land 3.
Land 3, perfect. Glide slope captured. We will go for the approach speed 148 and flaps 30. That's it. Auto brake 2. This is because I pressed the brake to take over control. And we are all set. So this is after takeoff. This is not the one we want. I'm not familiar with this aircraft, guys. Sorry about it. I think landing checklist, speed brake, landing gear, flaps, all good. And back to Andy. Here we go. Alright, so this is what you can do anytime you want to fly an approach with this aircraft in basic mode. What you need to do, remember, flight to 3,000 feet, 2,000 feet, heading and altitude hold, auto thrust to maintain the speed, and then import it in FSiPanel. You can try to the modes to see if you can maintain heading, maintain altitude, and then just reload that flight or get airborne if the system doesn't allow you to reload the flight. Some add-ons will not work perfectly, so in that case just get airborne to 3,000 and then start your approach. We will have a look at the landing report to see if it pops out. I'll do an auto land. Here we have land 3 flare arm, and we will see if the landing report is coming out.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Okay, retard, idle, flare, and we just landed. Reverse. Alright, autopilot off, and we will just stop here on the runway just to see our landing reports. Alright, stop on the runway, parking brake is set, and we bring FSiPanel and we have the landing report. And if we look at the landing report, we have Miami 8 right, the wind component, everything is there, so you can as well see your landing report. Okay guys, this is the basic mode aircraft you can try to use for any aircraft. It's never guaranteed that it's gonna work. I tried several aircraft, every aircraft I've tried worked, but it depends if they are using the standard FS6 or P3D offset for the autopilot modes. Should you not be able to set your autopilot modes, let's say FSiPanel is not able to set your heading or your altitude, what you could do is set these two value before you actually push move aircraft. So let's say your runway is 110, I will set 110 and I will fly the heading 110, then I will set 3,000 feet, which is what FSiPanel tells you for the final approach fix, and then flying in heading hold and altitude hold at this two values. If I press move aircraft on FSiPanel, my aircraft will be flying 110, 3000, and I'm ready to fly the approach as well. So it should work. Alright guys, let me know what you think about these modes. It's available right now on the P3D version of FSiPanel 2017, and it will be available very soon on the FS6 versions. Thank you for watching, and as always, safe landing. See you next time.